All right. Software is eating the world. That's a really cool statement that Mark Andreessen once gave at a very interesting essay that I highly recommend you to check out that was published in the Wall Street Journal back in 2011. Basically, what he said is that every industry, as you know it, will be disrupted by digital technologies. Now, this article was published in 2011, and today is as relevant as it was back then. Now, I don't know if you've seen, a couple of months ago, this was everywhere on the internet. And this marks my point. In 2015, Uber, the world's largest taxi company, owns no vehicles. Facebook, the world's most popular media owner, creates no content. Alibaba, the biggest retailer, has no inventory. And Airbnb, the world's largest accommodation provider, owns no real estate. Software is eating the world. Now, we know that. Now, what we need to understand is that this is inevitable. I like that word, inevitable. Because regardless of industry, regardless of geography, this is happening, and you need to take action. Of course, different countries are going at a different pace. So it's interesting to know how the world is going in this new digital evolution. And to understand this, Fletcher School at Tufts University made a very interesting research. They looked at 50 countries, and they created a digital evolution index. Basically, they look at the pace of evolution connected regarding digital. And they look at different factors. They look at supply factors like access, fulfillment, transaction infrastructure. They look at consumer behaviors and trends. They look at entrepreneurial, technological, and funding ecosystems, as well as the role of governments. And this is what they create. Here you can see a scale of the people of countries from 1 to 100, how countries are evolving regarding digital. And at the bottom, you can see the pace of change. Some countries are rapidly advancing, countries like China, Malaysia, Thailand, Mexico, yeah. There are countries that are slowly advancing, and as well, there are countries that are actually going backwards. It's really interesting to see how the world is adjusting to this new digital reality. And I know what you're thinking. Where is Bulgaria? They didn't put it there. So I look around and I start digging to find out where is Bulgaria, and I found a very interesting report by the European Commission. The European Commission looked at 5 factors like connectivity, human capital, use of internet, integration of digital technologies, and digital public service. And they look at all the countries in the EU. And Bulgaria is here. Now, I see your faces. You're like, why is this guy depressing us here, talking about where is Bulgaria? I actually think that this is an opportunity. And events like Digitalk show that that you guys are taking action, that you are not happy with being over there at that side of the graph. And the question is, how do we take advantage of this opportunity? And I believe that a very important role on this is digital transformation. Now I know, this sounds like a freaking buzzword. The typical buzzword that a consultant will use, digital transformation. But I strongly believe that this is an important part of what you need to do. Why? Because the world is changing. Change has become the norm, and it's constantly changing, and the pace of change is just getting faster and faster and faster. The problem is that the way to cope with change is to try to change, right? There's a problem with that. People don't like change. You know who are the only people that like change? Babies with wet diapers. That's it. Everybody, as soon as the word change comes up, there is this resistance. We don't like change. We like things the way they are. But that's not the problem that I have with change. The problem that I have with change is that, forgot this, people accept change only when it stops sucking or when I actually perceive the value of the change. So if you are going from eating pizza and hamburgers, and then you go to eating carrots and cucumbers, you don't like it. But once you start looking good and sexy and woo and hot, then it's all right, and you like change. But that moment at the beginning, that's the moment where it sucks, and that's when you don't like it. In business, it's exactly the same thing. The problem I have with change is that change is about fixing something that is broken. It's about looking at the past, looking at what you have done in the past, and try to fix things. How many of you have tried that at your companies? You work, something doesn't work, we need to change. And then, of course, resistance, people don't like it. And what happens most of the time? At the end of the day, the problem is that you find out your final outcome is just a slightly better version of what you had before. Instead of changing, I believe that we should do is transformation. Because transformation is not about fixing things, it's about creating new possibilities. It's about looking into the future, looking at the potential that you can accomplish, and then take action and create new possibilities. A good way to understand this is what Mark Parker, the CEO of Nike, said. We focus on the distance between where we are and our potential, not the distance between us and our competition. Think about that. They are not reacting to the competitors. They're looking to the future, and they're going forward. Now, when we talk about digital transformation, this is a multifaceted opportunity touching many areas of the business. This is not just about apps or banners or Facebook. It goes deeper than that. And very important is understanding that investing in new technology, like mobile and social, analytics, cloud, etc., it doesn't on itself equates to digital transformation. A lot of companies make that mistake. We need to go into digital. Boom, they put a lot of money into new technology, but then what happens? The people in the company are not aware or they don't understand why. And then things fail. And you end up with a very expensive piece of software that nobody uses. The goal is to make business relevant in a digital era while growing opportunities and profits, as well as scaling efficiently in the process. I'm talking business, people. This is not just digital. Digital transformation is business transformation, having an impact on your business. And to get a better understanding of this, I wanted to share you the findings of Capgemini Consulting together with MIT. They made a very interesting research, and they published a book called Leading Digital, in which you can have a better understanding of what I'm talking about. They research how firms around the world embrace digital. And what they conclude is that the goal is to become what they call a digital master. Digital masters are companies that use digital technologies to drive significantly higher levels of productivity, profit, and performance. And this is when I want to add that, okay, that sounds great, but it's not about just technology. A lot of companies make this mistake. They put a lot of emphasis, they put a lot of money into the IT, into technology, into digital. What you need to also focus is on developing your leadership capabilities. At all levels of the organization, across all the different divisions, everybody needs to understand digital. Everybody needs to understand and think digital. So, when I'm talking about leadership, it's also another buzzword. I sound like a typical consultant, transformation, leadership. Wait for my next slide. There's going to be the typical consultant. For digital masters, leadership is not a buzzword, but it's actually the lever that turns technology into transformation. And this is an interesting finding. 74% of business executives say their companies has a digital strategy. Cool, huh? Yet, only 15% feel their company is capable of executing it. Wah, 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 wah. So, here's the consultant slide. This is the favorite tool of every consultant, the matrix. We make a lot of money with matrices. Anyway, here's a very cool matrix, actually a good one. When you combine these two competencies, digital capabilities and leadership capabilities, you can find different combinations. You can find companies that are at the beginner, called the beginners. that they're at the beginning of their journey. These are the typical organizations that are having a wait-and-see strategy. They know that they should go into this digital thing, but I don't know, we'll see. And because they don't have a strong leadership, they are just left behind. You have the fashionistas. These are companies that they jump at every single new piece of technology that is out there. They have apps, and they have CRM, and they have this and that, and they have so many things. But they lack coordination. I have many clients, large companies that they have, marketing department, sales department, production department. Everybody has a completely different database. And of course, they're not connected. And you have a situation that nobody knows what he's doing, and they need to find a guy who is the guy that has the password to that thing, and it's a mess. You have conservatives. These are companies that have a strong leadership. Normally are the companies that have been in the market going on for some time, and that they know that they should invest in new technologies, but they are very cautious. They tried that Facebook thing, and it didn't work. So they just wait and see. And of course, at the end, you have the digital masters. Digital masters. These have strong overarching digital visions. They have a strong digital culture. And actually, digital has an impact on the business. My favorite example of digital master will be Nike. Think about this. Nike went from being a company that made T-shirts and tennis shoes into a digital company that actually connects people virtually as well as in the real world. You have products like the Fuel Band that mobilize you to move around. By the way, I need to start moving, yes. You have apps, you have different services like Nike ID that you can customize your own shoes. But this is not just what we see. Every single process in the organization is digital. And they have a strong digital culture. Everybody in the organization understands this, so they don't resist it. And I know what you're thinking. Great, Nike. I work in a freaking bank. What does this have to do with me? Well, you don't need to be Nike to start this digital transformation process. Digital transformation is moving at different pace in different industries. And if you think that your industry is not being affected by digital, you're going to get a big surprise. I don't know if you can see here. You can see different industries. Of course, high tech and telecom, they have a big impact on technology, so they are at a further pace, and they are closer to becoming a digital master. But you have industries like banking, insurance, utilities, industries where there is a lot of potential that are being affected by digital technologies, but they are being left behind. And what I want you to think about is, take a look at this, think about your company, and compare it where your industry is. Because the thing is, if your company is trailing your industry's average, then you need to start moving fast. Now, as I said before, this is not just about sexy technology. This is about business. Digital masters are 20% more profitable than their industry peers. They have 9% higher revenue from the physical assets. Why? Because they are more productive. They are more effective. So again, I'm not showing you, yes, digital, sexy, woo. This is business. And if you don't want to be left behind, you need to start moving and start moving fast. Digital transformation impacts the bottom line. It leads to boosting collaboration and productivity. Now, I don't have that much time, so instead of going through all the elements that you need to work on when we're talking about developing both digital capabilities and leadership capabilities, things like operational processes, understanding business models, building a shared vision across the organization, strong governments, and so on, I wanted to focus on one thing that I think is crucial. And this is crucial for everybody, regardless if you are a small startup or if you are a huge corporation. And that's customer experience. You need to put customer experience at the heart of digital transformation. This includes blurring the line between digital and physical customer experiences. Think about it. Digital and real are completely meshed. There is no difference anymore. You need to have these blurred lines between them. I love this quote by Katerina Walter. Your brand isn't your company. It isn't your marketing message. It isn't even your product. Your brand is the sum of your customer's experience at every brand touchpoint. Everyone. So if you have a really cool app, but your customer service lady sucks, guess what? The experience is broken, and you're in trouble. So, to give you an example of a company that's actually doing really cool stuff, I wanted to look into the airlines industry. I love traveling, but how many of you love airlines? Yeah. Airlines have the tendency to have issues when it comes to customer experience, right? But I wanted to share with you one company that I think is doing a great job, and that's a company that is actually taking into consideration all these different steps that you go through the journey. Because think about it. You have to get to the airport, you have to plan your trip, then you have to find parking place, then you get the queues, and then you have your tickets, and then you have to wait in line, and you have a flying attendant that is rude and is yelling at you, and the whole experience is kind of like, ugh. So Virgin America, look at this. And I don't know if any of you had the opportunity to fly on Virgin America? Some of you. Virgin America, look at this, and the reason why I'm talking about them is not because they have an app, which they do. And it's a very nice app, and of course it's very user-friendly, and you can plan, and you can do your checking, and you can do a bunch of stuff, but that's not what I'm talking about them. I'm not talking about them because they had really, really cool cabins. Look at that. That looked like freaking Star Trek. So cool. But no, that's not why I'm talking about them. I'm talking about them because they look at the customer experience. They look at the entire journey where passengers go from the planning process all the way to going through the traveling into the future. It's a little bit too small, so I'm not gonna go into details. But what I want you to think about this. They look at every single pass of every single step during the journey. They try to understand where are the potential moments where there could be either a positive or a negative experience. And then they start to think in advance, proactively, what can we do to improve that experience? So if you get to the checking line and there is such a very long queue, okay, what can we do to make the experience better? If you get here and you have to go through security, there is a potential to get a long line, what can we do there? And so on and so on. And Virgin America today is one of the airlines that is having the most success when it comes down to customer satisfaction. That's what I'm talking about. So, again, understand that digital, yes, sexy, cool, I love it. But the key to digital transformation is not just about technology, but it's about adopting technology as an enabler for something bigger. The choice is yours. Thank you very much.